Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts continues to be under concussion protocol. Nevertheless, a recent modification to the roster by the organization suggests promising advancements regarding his involvement in the upcoming playoff game. The Eagles have parted ways with quarterback Ian Book, who was signed by the team shortly after Hurts sustained a concussion during Week 16. Book offered supplementary depth behind Kenny Pickett and Tanner McKee but did not participate in any games throughout his time with the team. McKee served as the starting quarterback for the Eagles in Week 18, while Pickett led the team in Week 17. Despite Hurts remaining in concussion protocol, there is optimism about the Pro Bowl quarterback's ability to compete against the Green Bay Packers in the Eagles' wild card matchup on Sunday. Various sources communicating with Hurts have expressed a sense of optimism regarding his readiness for the game against Green Bay, yet the ultimate decision is contingent upon his capacity to successfully complete all stages of the protocol, including approval from an independent neurological consultant, reported Tim McManus from ESPN on Tuesday. Hurts is the primary focus for the Eagles. However, Pickett is dealing with a rib injury, which may promote McKee to the backup role in the event of Hurts' return. "I possess significant confidence in both of these players," asserted Sirianni. "When Kenny has been required to step in, he has performed commendably. Likewise, when Tanner has had to contribute, he has executed effectively. Our quarterback group is quite strong." As per ESPN, the Eagles are favored by 4.5 points at home for the impending match. The Philadelphia Eagles have waived quarterback Ian Book, indicating that Jalen Hurts is likely to be available for the team's playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. The Eagles had signed Book following Hurts' concussion during the Week 16 face-off against the Washington Commanders. According to Mike Garofalo of the NFL Network, Book might return to the Eagles as a practice squad player if he successfully clears waivers. Book joined the Eagles the day after Christmas, as both Hurts and backup quarterback Kenny Pickett were contending with injuries. He did not compete in the final 2 regular season games while on the active roster. This represents Book's second period with the Eagles, having originally been claimed off waivers before the start of the 2022 season, during which he remained on the active roster the entire year. In 2023, the former Notre Dame quarterback was waived by the Eagles during training camp and briefly joined the practice squad of the New England Patriots. In January of the previous year, Book was signed by the Kansas City Chiefs but was released by the team in August. The New Orleans Saints drafted Book in the 4th round of the 2021 NFL Draft, and he participated in 1 game. With Book off the active roster, it is likely that the Eagles will have Hurts ready for play on Sunday. His presence would be vital for the Eagles as they strive to achieve their first Super Bowl title since the 2017 season. This week, Garofalo mentioned that Hurts is anticipated to engage in Sunday's contest, despite being under concussion protocol. "I do not harbor any considerable concerns," he articulated on the Insiders. "I am confident that Jalen Hurts will be available for this matchup. It is possible he will not receive formal clearance from the protocol until later this week. There is no urgency, a player is not required to exit the protocol until game time. I believe he will be all right. I expect him to participate this weekend. He had an exceptionally successful collegiate career," stated head coach Nick Sirianni concerning Book last month, as reported by the Eagles' official website. "We had the opportunity to acquire him after he had some playing time in New Orleans. We genuinely valued our time with him during his stay here and held significant expectations for his development." Eagles coach Nick Sirianni conveyed that he is not worried about quarterback Jalen Hurts possibly exhibiting signs of inconsistency if he clears concussion protocol and competes in Sunday's wildcard playoff against the Green Bay Packers. Hurts suffered a concussion during the first quarter against the Washington Commanders on December 22, leading to his absence from the team's final 2 regular season games. He remains within the protocol. However, Sirianni has stated he is making progress through the process. "We have substantial confidence in him and his skills," Sirianni remarked on Monday during his appearance on 94.1 VIP. "This is specifically why we train as we do. Our practice sessions are rigorous. We believe our practice methodology is effective, and our athletes approach training in a manner that replicates actual games. This is where issues are addressed by maintaining focus and engagement throughout the week. We have immense trust in Jalen as he prepares for the game." Sirianni confirmed that Hurts participated in Saturday's walkthrough prior to their regular season conclusion against the New York Giants, a game in which numerous key starters rested since the Eagles secured the NFC's number 2 seed. As per reports, he has been present at the facility in the preceding weeks. On Monday, offensive coordinator Kellen Moore noted that he has been able to engage in discussions regarding the game plan for this week with Hurts. Various sources linked to Hurts have expressed optimism concerning his involvement against Green Bay, although it ultimately depends on his successful navigation through all stages of the protocol, including approval from an independent neurological consultant. Significant scrutiny will be directed towards whether Hurts can practice on Wednesday as the Eagles initiate their on-field preparations for the Packers. Kenny Pickett replaced Hurts in the lineup against Washington but suffered a rib injury during the contest. He commenced the following week against the Dallas Cowboys but was substituted for Tanner McKee after enduring multiple hard hits early in the second half. McKee initiated the game against New York and successfully completed 2 touchdown passes in a winning effort. Sirianni refrained from confirming who the designated number 2 quarterback would be in the event that Hurts received the starting role. There are always varying circumstances each week with different players, contending with injuries, Moore commented when asked about the difficulties of strategizing amidst the ambiguity at the quarterback position. Evidently, the quarterback is a significant focal point and justifiably so, but there are other positions where we have encountered similar issues, necessitating the acknowledgement of those diverse factors. The Jacksonville Jaguars have formally requested an interview with Philadelphia Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore regarding their head coaching vacancy. This revelation surfaced merely a day after Jacksonville terminated former Eagles Super Bowl winning coach Doug Peterson after 3 seasons in that capacity. In addition to Moore, the Jaguars have sought interviews with 7 other coaching candidates, which includes 4 additional offensive coordinators: Joe Brady from Buffalo, Liam Cohen from Tampa Bay, Ben Johnson from Detroit, and Todd Monken from Baltimore. The Jaguars have also requested discussions with 2 current defensive coordinators, Aaron Glenn of Detroit and Patrick Graham of Las Vegas, as well as Robert Saleh, the former head coach of the New York Jets, who is currently serving as an assistant in Green Bay. This marks the second NFL organization expressing interest in hiring Moore as their head coach. On Monday, ESPN reported that the New Orleans Saints had initiated a request to interview Moore for their vacant position following the dismissal of Dennis Allen. When questioned about how to balance head coaching interviews with preparations for the upcoming playoff game against the Green Bay Packers on Tuesday, Moore stated, "You don't dwell on it too much." He stressed that the immediate focus remains on the current week, with confidence that such matters will be resolved. These opportunities arise only for organizations that typically find success and excel on the field, so that's where your focus should lie. Moore is currently in his first season managing play calling for the Eagles as the team's offensive coordinator. Under Moore's leadership, the Eagles have re-established one of the most robust rushing offenses in the NFL, with Saquon Barkley having a career-best year, setting multiple franchise rushing records, and the team achieving 14 victories to secure the NFC East title. Despite the Eagles' offense ranking among the top in the NFL, the team's passing game is positioned at 29th, just above the Carolina Panthers, Chicago Bears, and New England Patriots. Should Moore accept a head coaching role, the Eagles would be tasked with finding a new offensive coordinator for the 3rd consecutive season. Philadelphia previously lost Shane Steichen to the head coaching position with the Indianapolis Colts following a Super Bowl appearance in 2022. And the Eagles parted ways with former offensive coordinator Brian Johnson after a disappointing end to the 2023 season. If the Philadelphia Eagles advance through the NFC playoffs, there is a possibility that they could receive reinforcements in time for the Super Bowl. First and foremost, the Eagles must overcome the Green Bay Packers in the wild card round before considering future possibilities. The NFC presents a significant challenge and is anticipated to be quite demanding. The Eagles should be viewed as leading contenders for a Super Bowl appearance, however, it is premature to engage in speculation at this stage. In this regard, should the Eagles progress to the Super Bowl, fan favorite defensive end Brandon Graham indicated that a comeback is a possibility, as he stated on 94 VIP Sports Radio. "Hey man, anything is possible," Graham expressed. "I recognize that at this moment, I am entirely focused on the effort. I am taking it one game at a time, insisting, come on, let's focus on this one. Let's ensure we navigate this effectively. We must avoid any setbacks since we are in a favorable situation. This is an exceptional team. We must ensure that we are not pursuing plays, rather, let the plays come to us, and let's achieve this together." Should the Eagles embark on a prolonged playoff journey, Graham's return would provide considerable on-field support, given his tally of 5 sacks and 20 tackles across 11 games. Furthermore, he would contribute an emotional lift to the team. He has hinted at the possibility that this could be his final season. If he were to return for an additional game, the Eagles would undoubtedly feel inspired to secure a victory for him. The Philadelphia Eagles have distinguished themselves as one of the top teams in the league throughout the current season. The team commenced the year with a 2-2 record prior to their bye week but then embarked on a 12-1 streak to conclude the season. The Eagles' sole loss following the bye occurred in Week 16 against the Washington Commanders, during which Jalen Hurts had limited participation due to a concussion. The Eagles attained the number 2 seed in the NFC and will face off against the Green Bay Packers next weekend, marking the beginning of their anticipated journey towards the Super Bowl. Despite the Eagles' strong performance this season, ESPN's Football Power Index assigned them modest odds for winning the Super Bowl. The Eagles were ranked as having the 5th best chance of winning, trailing behind the Detroit Lions, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, and Buffalo Bills. The Lions were awarded a 25.8% likelihood of clinching the title, followed by the Ravens at 13.8%, the Chiefs at 12.3%, and the Bills at 9.7%. The Eagles were given an 8.4% chance. Significantly, the Eagles possess the second best odds of winning the Super Bowl within the NFC, yet they remain positioned behind 3 AFC teams. Philadelphia has already secured a victory against Baltimore earlier in the season. It is rather surprising that the Eagles were not granted higher odds. Philadelphia is acknowledged for potentially having the most formidable defense in the league, supplemented by a range of offensive talents, including a well-rested Saquon Barkley, who exceeded 2,000 rushing yards. Although these statistics may not hold significant importance, they remain noteworthy. On Tuesday, the Philadelphia Eagles made a critical roster decision by waiving backup quarterback Ian Book, just 1 week after his addition to the active roster. This move strongly indicates that Jalen Hurts is expected to successfully complete concussion protocol before Sunday's wild card playoff game against the Green Bay Packers. Book, who had previously been associated with Philadelphia in 2022, was first added to the practice squad on December 26 following Hurts' concussion in Week 16 against Washington. He was elevated to the active roster 2 days later and served as a backup for the final 2 regular season games while Hurts remained unavailable. The timing of Book's release is particularly noteworthy considering NFL stipulations concerning emergency quarterbacks. Teams are mandated to keep their third quarterback on the 53-man roster in order to activate the emergency quarterback rule, which allows for that player to participate if the first 2 quarterbacks are incapacitated. By narrowing their quarterback roster to Hurts, Kenny Pickett, and Tanner McKee, the Eagles appear confident that all 3 will be available for Sunday's playoff match. This decision also suggests positive news regarding backup Kenny Pickett, who has been dealing with broken ribs sustained during the game against the Commanders. Pickett attempted to continue playing through the injury against Dallas but had to exit, allowing McKee to finish that game and start in the regular season finale. Head coach Nick Sirianni has taken a cautious approach concerning Hurts' status, merely stating that the Pro Bowl quarterback is progressing through the NFL's concussion protocol. The 26-year-old Hurts has not engaged in team practices since suffering the concussion on December 22, when he was forced to leave the game after only 12 plays against Washington.